raise your glass, even everyone listening. Birthdays come once a year. Aren't you happy you're not a birthday? Cheers. Do you get it? Get it?
I got it. That was good. I hee-heed. And
Thank you.
ha-ha'd.
Ooh, sorry, Mom.
Hee-hee
No, I
and a
heard-
ha-ha.
I heard that one recently because I don't know. I love like a good toast, like when you're out with friends. Our friend
Yes.
Michael, he will give like 30 toasts. For his birthday, he threw like a little like wine tasting party.
Nice.
There was 12 tastings and every single one was, Michael, give a toast. And the lady like doing the tasting was like, oh, every single one. And by the end, Michael's like, to me. And we're like,
He's like
"Okay."
runs out. He's like,
Okay.
another one.
It was so funny.
I like it. Oh, Peyton's
Thank
home,
you.
by the way. He just got home. And I did say, do you want to come on the pod? And he said, absolutely not.
Rude. I actually,
know.
Clayton said he said he was going to come home for lunch. He hasn't come home yet, so he might be making.
Ooh, who did he
a
have
pit stop.
lunch with?
That's what I'm
Ooh.
saying. We start a rumor like in one of the first episodes how there was Babygate. Now it's like, whose bed have your
baby-
boots been under?
Yeah,
Clayton?
that.
No.
Who's having your baby?
Yeah. Where has your PPE been? Isn't that like your personal protection, whatever?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's good.
Clayton.
Yeah,
But yeah.
Clayton.
Yeah, Jordan. Now I'll say this and then we'll get into the episode. Jordan, do you remember? Jordan and I, we never really, I mean, we fought sometimes, but we were always like pretty good friends growing up, which I
Yeah.
think is why we're such good friends now. But I remember I would like, whenever I would be having a tantrum or like throwing a fit or doing something dumb, Jordan would always say, yeah, Ash. When
Because mom
say-
would be like, Ash,
Stop
quit
it.
that. And I'd say, yeah, Ash.
And then one time, Jordan, we were at like Longhorn Steakhouse and you're like going in on the mashed potatoes or something. And mom was like, oh my God, Jordan, you're eating like a savage. And I was like, yeah, Jordan, don't be a cabbage.
So funny.
Yeah,
Still
Jordan.
funny.
We say it like every couple months, it'll be, don't be a cabbage.
Don't be a
So-
cabbage. And well, or Ash would say, yeah, George. Like
Yeah, George.
instead of George, it'd be George.
Oh, good times.
Good times. I love it. So,
Sweet.
Ashton, how was your weekend? Well, actually, you wanted to talk about your trip, didn't you? Is that your
Yes.
intro? Okay.
Well, yeah, I was going to say quick, welcome Case of Mondays, whatever. You know why you're here.
You know why you're here.
If you don't like it, get out.
Leave.
No, welcome, guys. We're so happy. And I meant to say last episode was 10. Totally
Mhm.
slipped my mind. I feel like that's kind of a big one. So
Yeah,
we made it to
10.
11. That's kind of exciting.
11. And you know
So-
what? We have 11 subscribers on YouTube. So, shout out to those 11
Wow.
people.
Wow. We're big time.
We are big time. I like it.
Last episode, I had a whole intro planned and then I got
Derailed
distracted.
by
because
your,
of the
by your
maintenance
maintenance
man?
man. Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple weekends ago, I was in Minneapolis with Clayton. He had like a company work trip and I was like, oh, I want to go like for fun, whatever. And I had mentioned last episode, I was like, I found out that Clayton is a shoes off airplane person. So these are just more things that I just learned about
You discovered about
Clayton.
traveling. Yeah.
and myself and just like life in general. This is a list of things I learned. One being that toast that I said at the beginning. So, item number 1. Do you remember in episode 2, I talked about the guy whose pants fell down, or underwear
Yes.
fell down inside his pants?
Yes. Yes.
So he is a murderer. I did find that out.
What?
Yes.
He's a murderer?
Yes. And
Oh
not
my
recently.
God.
Yes. My
Former
friends-
felon, okay, or is a felon, former
Yeah,
murderer, I
I'm not
guess.
sure.
Okay.
He's still alive, so I wasn't sure if I was supposed to say like was a murderer, is a murderer. Yeah, my friend who like that was her firsthand experience. She was on this trip, and we're just talking about the podcast, and she's like, "Oh, well, you know, like he's a murderer. Like I know you like true crime," and I'm like, "No, nobody told me this." And it's not like he was going around the office saying, Yeah,
I'm a
I'm like,
murderer.
oopsies. So they know it was true because someone, like, he was just a weird guy, like, in the office,
Weirdo,
and
but weirdo.
someone
Yeah.
looked up his name. Like, I know, Jordan, you like to look up people's criminal history. Someone did that, and they were like, oh my God, he like went to prison for murder. We don't have any other details. I need to do more research, but it was like, we're like, was he a juvenile? Like, he maybe is like
Yeah.
50, 60. So we're like, if he went away for like 20 years, was he 20? So exciting stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
insane. We need a whole episode on that. Like, just like, let's
this
uncover the crime, you know? Like,
from the underwear bandit. Yeah, this is a true crime podcast
and because
now.
was he a maintenance guy at their
Yes.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So very
Wow.
exciting.
Interesting. Nice follow-up. I appreciate that follow-up.
Thank you.
That's cool. I was hoping a little bit more positive story, but that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, that was definitely the most exciting. Item number 2 is that natural deodorant does not work. A little
Oh,
different
hell
from item
no.
number 1. Have you tried it?
It's basically like beeswax. Like, it's just like,
Is
you
that
know,
what it is?
I think so. It's like beeswax based, and it's like, I don't know how it works. I mean, I'm just gonna use the real thing because I know it works. And I'd hate to be somewhere and then I stink, and then I'm like, damn, it's probably that shitty like lip balm I put on my armpits.
My Burt's Bees. Well, yeah, that is correct. And as someone who has lived through this, so basically, Clayton, he gets obsessive over things. And so, like, a couple months ago, he's like, Ashton, our deodorant will give us cancer. And I'm like, I don't want cancer. Oh my God. Okay. Absolutely. Fully convinced, which I mean, yeah, whatever. I believe it. Mom told me that like months ago too, that the aluminum in your deodorant is like what's terrible. Anyway,
Oh
so
my God.
we had been using Native for a while. I think you just find it at Target. And like one of the scents I liked, like the coconut, the other one, I was like, whatever. It still wasn't as good as like the aluminum stuff, like the real stuff.
Yeah.
And then recently, Clayton was like, Ashton, like, let's try another brand, like just cause. And like, instead of buying one to see if you like it, like buys a party pack. So we can try all the flavors. But now we have like 4 things of deodorant. I literally, and that's all we had in Minneapolis. And it's not like it's
Oh my
hot. Like it was very cold. It was snowing. It was so cold. We would go out and then I'd wake up the next morning because I'm like, man, like I don't feel good. Like I feel like I
Yeah.
stink. And of course you ask all your friends, like, do I stink? No one's going to tell you to your face. And also
Yeah.
that would hurt my feelings, but no one's going to tell you. So the next morning I wake up and I sniff my shirt because I'm gross. And I smelled like a 13-year-old boy. It was horrible. Terrible. So I don't recommend. I think, did I say it was Harry's, like the Great Razors? Horrible deodorant. Do not buy that.
Oh, it's like the Harry's natural one. It's not the regular Harry's. That's like the other one. Yes, I know what you're talking about because I use the regular Harry's, and like, also I like men's deodorant. I use men's deodorant because it's just stays better. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't care. So
I think we're just stinky people. I mean, I said last episode, I was like, my hair is falling out. Now I'm like, I smell bad.
I mean, my hair is pretty greasy, and I'm like, oh, this is a pretty good day.
Things are going pretty good over here, people.
I like that you just said we're stinky people on our podcast.
I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so
stink.
And then my third item on the list that I learned about Clayton, and I already told you, Jordan, this because when I was in the hotel, you and Mom FaceTimed me and I was like, I gotta show you this. Like, we're here for weekends. And I get it, like Clayton's there for work, so he had to pack a suit, his dress shoes, like he had to pack more things than I did, but he's already like an overpacker anyway. So he like straight up brings his ski bag, like it's huge. And I'm like, okay,
That's
whatever.
What you said he overly packs too many shirts, like for a
Too many
3-day trip.
But like, guys, like these shirts, they're like half are fraternity shirts. We have been out of college for like 4 years now. So I don't know why we have those. And also, he is a like hanger up person. I fold like most of my things. I don't know. I feel like you're one or the other. He hangs everything. And I remember Mom being like, you're kidding me. Like he hung up his fraternity t-shirts that he's like gonna lounge in. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And the craziest part was that when he packed, because I'm like, you're 20, 27 maybe. I don't know.
Easily.
I don't
Yeah, I
ask
think
him.
probably he's
None of my
probably your
business.
boyfriend is probably 27.
None of my business how old my boyfriend is. That's between God and him. Everyone's be like, "Are you dating a 40-year-old?" Basically.
No, basically.
Is he 40 or 14? I don't know. He acts
Nobody
like
knows.
both.
He doesn't even know.
You know. But so when he packed, he just like took them out of our closet, all the t-shirts hung up, and just like shimmied them into the suitcase. So I get to the hotel room
Like a fold and shove it in.
and his stuff is hanging up with his hangers that he brought from home.
What a psychopath. Like, right. If anyone else packs like this, I'm gonna need you to like write into the Instagram because I don't know anybody that packs their hangers from home.
That's and like there's hangers there. Like they were there and they were empty because
and like what wasted space. Like you're just like, I don't know. I hope the people at the airport when it went through security, they were like,
"Are you kidding me?"
Kind of strange, but okay.
Yeah, I wish they would have put a note and be like, just so he knew, like this got checked and we thought it was weird. But yeah,
we had to make sure this wasn't a weapon.
Honestly, oh my God, yeah. So I'm just like, I don't know if it's just quarantine or like, I mean, COVID or this podcast has just made me more inquisitive about him. I'm learning so much about him. Oh and maybe God. I've already learned all the good parts. So now it's just like, well, that's interesting. Okay. So yeah.
You know, Peyton is here. I mean, and he actually did say you can't talk shit on me because I will be home. But he doesn't. I mean, I will say like we're really similar in like the way we do things. Like there's very like little weird things I think are strange. Like if he hears me, he's gonna barge in here. But I think it's weird that I'm like looking at the door. The only thing I think is weird is that he doesn't empty his pockets when he comes home. Like he will like get fully undressed and leave everything in his pants. Like I'm talking like keys, phone, everything. It's just like I mean phone probably because he's like gonna like get on it or something. But like normally in the morning I like he gets his keys from his pants from the day before and I'm like we have like an entry table with like a little thing for those, you know?
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. Other than that, we're really similar in the way we do everything. I'm like I'm waiting for him to barge in here. No,
like,
I'm just kidding.
No, like we're the same.
No, he's
like,
awesome.
But guys, actually, that reminds me, Clayton, he always takes every time he gets home, the keys and wallet and phone go into like the same spot on the counter.
That's where
but he'll leave other stuff in his pockets. Like we went out this past weekend to like a little country bar that had live music. Clayton is the biggest flirt with the band at the bar. It doesn't matter if they're good.
Is he
doesn't
like,
matter what they look like.
Play Wonderwall, brother.
He actually, I don't know. I'm like jamming along to the music. I get a drumstick. That drumstick was out of my hands so quickly because Clayton took it.
He was like, "Oh, I'm with that souvenir from that local bar band."
He didn't even ask, like, "Hey, can I dance with it?" It was just scoop back of his pants. And now it's in his butt crack, so I don't even want it anymore. And not like I wanted it in the first place, but I was just like, okay, weird. But I go to do laundry the other day, and in the dryer, I found 2 guitar picks, just like in the little like lint catcher.
Was it like a famous band, or was it like it was just a local, like
very local? Yeah, they were good. Like we had a great time. I wish I remembered the name.
Probably like someone's stepdad's band. Like it probably wasn't even like a.
Yeah, like they might like tour around Missouri or like the St. Louis bars.
They're like a state fair, like beer tent band.
Yeah, and Clayton's like, I gotta flirt with them to get the pics. And so he comes home and I have them on the counter. It's like, oh, LOL, like you forgot those. And he straight up says, he's like, okay, well, I only want to keep the red one because that's the one he played with, and the other one he like didn't play with. And I'm like, you remember?
Also, I'm imagining Clayton, and I love Clayton. He's so funny. And like, I'm imagining Clayton, a grown man, going up to a band saying, Can I have your guitar pick? And they're like, yeah, sure.
Usually we give those to the girls.
But yeah, no offense to Clayton. I just feel like sometimes that's like what they give to little kids or like girls.
I was gonna say, like if we were on a flight and you know how when you were little, like some airlines would give you wings. I think Clayton would be very excited if he was given some wings. I think you'd be like, Ashton, do you think I can get those again? Hasn't happened, but maybe next time we're on a flight, I'll like try to get some wings for
That
him.
is
I think
so
he'd like that.
funny. Well, we're going to a concert together with Clayton Ashton. We're going to Morgan Wallen, and so
True.
I'm wondering if Clayton's going to try to schmooze some memorabilia from the concert. I don't know.
Oh my God. Well, luckily we're so high up that he can't. So when, oh wait, I think we were still in Portland, but for some reason, him and his family had gone to a 38 Special concert in like somewhere in Iowa. And I hope they were close to the stage, but I think like Clayton somehow finagled his way to be in close enough distance to hop on the stage and take a
Oh.
drumstick. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And you know where that drumstick is? It's on display on their fireplace mantle. Yeah. And I
Wow,
think
what
he
a
almost got kicked
beautiful-
out for that, but they're like, the
What a
concert's
beautiful
over.
place for that.
Yeah, I don't know. He's strange.
I
but-
love it though. That's awesome. I mean, a good stories. Like I like it. I mean, now next time we see a band, I'm gonna be like, can I have something just so I can give it to Clayton for his birthday or something?
Yeah.
Here's
so
a band
now-
that you didn't see, but I did.
So now he can have 3 drumsticks. We don't
Like
own a
it.
set of drums also. Like I don't even
It's just a
I-
single lone drumstick.
yeah, it's literally sitting by our TV as this drumstick. And I'm like, I don't know what we're gonna do with that. We're not moving with it. I'm not taking it to the next place. So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you should list it on Facebook Marketplace and just be like drumstick from like and like name the band's
local
name.
bands.
Name the band name, and so people are like, what?
Yeah.
Also, by the way,
Memorabilia.
I am trying to sell, well, like, 'cause we're selling our house, I'm trying to get rid of stuff. And Miller's changing table, which, by the way, like, I insisted on having this changing table. And people were like, you really don't need it. Just buy like the changing pad and put it on a dresser or something. Like, you
Mhm.
can do that. Do that. Don't buy a changing table. It's like a waste of $100. Now I'm trying to get rid of this changing table. And I'm selling it on Facebook, and I'm reminded of why I hate selling shit on Facebook. I
Mhm.
literally listed it for $25 because I'm like, I just need it gone. I don't want it here anymore, and I don't want to take it to Goodwill. And
Yeah.
this woman is messaging me, and she has 1,000 questions. Can it be taken apart? Would it fit in a Honda Civic? Could we?
I don't know, lady.
I don't know. I put the dimensions on there. No, I'm not gonna break it down for you.
Yeah.
Like, no, I was like, dude, I don't think so. I mean, I'm here whatever time, you know.
Mhm.
And she's like, okay, I could probably come check it out, you know, Saturday between like 9 and 9:20. And I'm like, okay, well, like, look, I'm gonna just leave it outside, and like, we're not gonna come check it out and measure it and make sure, like, either you
Yeah.
want it or you don't want it. Like, I don't like, you know, I don't know. Is it
And
like, I mean,
25
questions
bucks.
like, is
Yeah.
it sturdy? How big are the areas like to store things? And I'm
Well, my
like,
baby fell off once, but like honestly, I don't know. That's a
I
pretty good
was
track
like,
record.
I mean, I don't know, like how thick is the pad on it? And I was like, I mean, there's the pad isn't included. Well, no, actually, I am gonna just throw in the pad because Miller's too big for it. But yeah, I was like, I mean, there wasn't a pad in the photo. Because so she was like, is there a pad included and how thick is it? And I'm like, okay, I don't know. I'm not gonna measure it. It's pretty thick. Like at this point, I'm like
I don't
annoyed.
know.
So I'll let you know. I'll give you a follow if she ends up buying it for $25. I'm like,
That's not
lady,
expensive.
just pick it up and just be done
Yeah.
with it. Like I just want it out of my life at this point. So
yeah.
same with
Oh,
the
that's so
coffee
funny.
table that Miller was trying to climb on. I had to get rid of it, and nobody's bid on it. So I don't know what's gonna happen. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
just
a cute
sitting.
one. Yeah.
I know I like that coffee. I would have it if Miller wasn't climbing all over it. So you
Yeah.
know.
So anyone listening, Jordan's contact info is. I'm just kidding.
Here's my address.
No.
Come by and check out this changing table. You have a
That
limit of 3 questions though, because I think this woman is like, do you think it could fit in the trunk of a Honda Civic? Lady, I have no idea. I had a Honda Civic as my first vehicle, but I don't remember the trunk size. I don't know. I'm clueless. Like, figure
Yeah.
out. It's not my problem how you transport it. I'm not delivering, pickup only. Sorry. So,
Yeah.
anyways, if you're
I was-
interested,
I mean, I commend you for I've never done Facebook Marketplace, and I think
Horrible.
I'm just like scarred from giving my info on the internet because, not naming any names, someone very close to us did put their personal phone number around the holidays because this person has a huge heart, wanted to host a family's, like, you know how you'll give back to churches or like, oh, what do they call it? like adopt a
like a
family.
gift. Yeah, like you adopt a family or whatever. And so
Yeah. So this
yeah.
person really wanted to do that, but gave their phone number as like a face. Oh no, it wasn't even. Was it a Facebook status or it was in like a group?
I think it was like a Swap and Shop group because they were trying to help out a family or whatever. And it was like, hey, like we're really trying to find a family to adopt, like just like within our own family. So
Mhm.
reach out to me on this number. Phone rang off the hook all night long. Like
Mhm.
pay our rent. Like I need gas. Like it was like all of the scammers
Horrible.
on Facebook like rung the phone off the hook all night long. So don't post your phone on the phone number on the internet. Although bring that up, it's actually has nothing to do with my initial intro, but we're gonna add it because
I think I know what you're gonna say.
Ashton has had her phone number on the internet before, and I occasionally will like to pull pranks on. When I think of pulling a prank on somebody, I'm like, oh, my sister for sure, because like who else am I gonna do it? So one time, I think I was in college, and I was like, oh, it'd be super funny to like list a fake thing for sale on Facebook and put Ashton's phone number. So I found a photo of an alpaca on the internet or a llama. I don't know. I think they're different.
Or was it goats? It was something
goats?
weird.
I think it was a llama. Like I think it was a llama, and I said llama for sale, and I just put mid Missouri, like or something. Like it was just a very general area. And I put Ashton's name and phone number, and I didn't tell her. Like I thought it was so funny. And sure enough, she starts explain how it unfolded for you, because I was just waiting like at least a day or two for you to be like, did you do this?
Oh yeah. So I'm in college and I don't know, I don't like answering phone numbers that I don't know because I'm like, I don't want to do that until I started getting text messages for like a week straight that are like, hey, is the llama still available? Hey, would love to check out this llama.
Male,
like,
male or female?
male or female? And I'm like, me? I think you had to reach out to me because I'm so confused. And you're like, have you gotten any weird calls lately? I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? And
I was like so eager. I was like, oh my God, it's gonna be so funny. And she hadn't said anything in our family group or anything. And I was like, so like, you get any like weird texts lately? And she was like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
And I sent her the post. And
oh my God. And still like, I mean, this was years ago, so not today, but for months, I would get like a random call, random text, and I'd be like, no, they're not available anymore. I'm so sorry. They sold. Yeah.
They're
and
gone.
To this day, if I get like a call from Greenwood or like a local number that like I don't know, I assume, I mean, I don't
Like,
answer, but I'm like, it's probably Jordan again.
Craigslist. It's probably
Craigslist ad. Oh my God. Too good.
It's so funny. So yeah, if you want to prank your family members, list like, their vehicle for sale on Facebook.
You're horrible. You're terrible. I need to get you back. I
know
I don't
it's
know how.
that was like 5 years ago. I like that you have your turtle in the shot.
A little tea turtle. It's a tea diffuser in the shape of a baby turtle. So cute. So yeah, he's here.
He's cute. I like him. Although I was trying to start beef with him on TikTok. I was like, he
He's
can't even
just a
swim.
baby.
What if he falls?
He's just a baby. I was gonna send you a video of him like in like sinking in the tea, be like, look what you made him do. But I would never let that happen to my son.
I hope it's stop motion, like
Oh my God. That'd be
and
so funny.
I like it. The only points I had, so high school reunions. Like, so I got a Facebook invite for my 10-year high school reunion. And I find it so interesting, like the number of people that like I think you're like one end or the other. Either you're like, oh, I'm so excited, I think it'd be super fun, or you're like, F that, I don't want to go, whatever, which you have every right to do whatever. So I think it's super interesting because in this, Facebook group, it's funny how like most of my friends, I think, were split down the middle, like as far as, but then the ones that were like, I don't want to go, I was like, hey, it could be fun. Like, who cares? We're just gonna, we're not gonna see these people for another 10 years. So like, we can like go crazy and like whatever,
Yeah. And you're like, I was gonna hang out with my friends anyway. So
yeah. So will you go to your high school reunion?
Yeah, I'm one of those people I had a great high school experience. And you're probably like, oh, like, so she was a bully? No, I didn't talk to anyone. I talked to my friends and that was it. And I had a great time.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited for it. But yeah, I know a bunch of people, like Clayton has said, I think I've talked Clayton into wanting to go to his, but at first he was like, I don't really have an interest, but I don't know. I think it'd be fun to like stunt on people.
Well, and I mean, I think you're right. It's like the point of like, I think if you're the type that's like, I don't want to go to my high school reunion, it's probably because either A, you were bullied in high school and you just don't like want to go and you're still hanging on to that or something. And like,
Yeah.
I had parts of high school, I had a great experience, and parts of high school, I didn't have a great experience. But I think at the end of the day, like, if I'm still holding on to something that happened 10 years
10
ago,
years. Yeah.
I need to like reevaluate my priorities. So there are
Yeah.
more good things and people I want to see than not. So
Mhm.
I'm down to go. And I actually was like, I mean, I can even help with whatever because a lot of the people don't live around here. So
Yeah.
I'm like fine helping with whatever. Like I think it's fun, and I think we'll probably get half the people there, but I like it.
Mhm.
I think it'd be fun. But I think some people are like, "Well, I hate, boo high
What?
school."
And we're both just down to like have a good time. And like, I don't know. Every time when I was at Mizzou, and if I saw like, so at our high school, I feel like your class mostly went to Mizzou. Mine mostly went to Missouri State because at the time it was like, oh my God, everyone from West goes to Mizzou. It's going to be just like high school. I never saw
And it's
anyone.
so big. Like, yeah, there's no way.
And when I did, I would get like super excited, even if it was people that like I really didn't talk to, or like the quote popular people in high school. If I'd see them, I'd be like, oh my gosh, hi, like familiar face. So I'm still excited to like see people that I know, just like in general, and just catch up. And just to see my friends from high school that I
Right.
really haven't talked to in 10 years.
Like my thing with it is I just think like there's going to be people that you don't want to see or whatever, but like I'm
Mhm.
like such a people watcher that I'm like, no, like me and like Taylor, we can totally go, and then we can be like, oh my gosh, like this happened to this person, or they look like this now, or whatever. And people are probably gonna do the same thing to us. And I love it. I'm here for it. I love it. And I think if you don't want to go, then don't go. And like that's fine. Like do your thing, but I'm about it. I love it.
Yeah, no,
So
I'm like, I mean, my 10 years not for a couple more years, but I'm like, honestly, I'm looking forward to it. It's not like I wake up every day and I'm like, God, can't wait. Can't wait for that
3
10
more
years.
years.
But I am like so excited because me and Molly, my like childhood best friend who went to high school together, we still talk like every day, and like kind of that same thing where I'm just excited. I'm so nosy that I'm like, I of course keep up with everyone on social media, but I'm like, ooh, the people that I don't follow, I got to get the deets. Are you friends with any of like anyone from your high school class that posts all their dirty laundry on
Oh
Facebook?
hell yeah.
I'm excited for the updates on that because they're showing
Yeah.
up. I'm like
Oh
so
yeah.
excited.
The ones that like they've been married and like divorced from the same person a couple of times,
Yeah.
like
There's
and like, oh, that was the other thing I have on here. It's like, and like, no offense to anybody. It's just like I did creep on the list of people because I'm not friends with all them still. And I
Mhm.
was like, whoa, like that's not what I expected. Like,
Yeah.
whatever it is, like it's just like, oh, okay. Like you were like,
Mhm.
super preppy or whatever in high school, and now you're in like a death metal band. Like it's just
Will
like,
they play at the reunion? I hope.
should we hire them? I don't know.
Yes.
Probably.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like it's just funny things like that where I'm like, oh my gosh, you were like a cheerleader, and now like it looks like you're like, I don't want to say like on drugs, but you just look kind of scary now. Like
Kind of
like neck
scared of you.
tattoos, and like it's like, whoa.
Yeah. Oh my
So,
God. Go off.
yeah, I don't know. So I'll let you guys know how the high school reunion goes.
Oh my God. I'm so excited.
So anyway, but yeah, so should we get into it? We
Yes,
have
let's
weird
get
news
in-
again. Like we have weird news again this week. So do you want to start, Ash? You should do
Yeah.
your news first.
Absolutely. And I picked this one because if you were in this situation, I know exactly what you would do. And I can't believe that this was even a thing. So my weird news this week comes from a mirror.co.uk article. This girl's a nanny in the UK, and she had booked her sister's wedding off. She was going to be gone like a Thursday through a Sunday. And she told the mother, so her boss, this like 7 months in advance. At the time, the mom was like, oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely. Like, enjoy your sister's wedding. Also, this is her only sibling. So, like, this is a once in a lifetime, you hope, opportunity. So, comes to the week of. It comes to the week of, and the mom is like, hey, I actually can't find someone to cover for you. I'm going to need you to skip your sister's wedding and take care of these kids. And the girl, of course, is like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. But like, I'm not missing my sister's wedding. Like, I will reach out to my nanny friends and let you know,
Yeah.
like, if they're able to, like, I will help you cover. But like, I'm not doing that. Like, that's
I'm
a
not missing my
ridiculous,
sister's wedding. Like, come
a
on.
ridiculous ask. And granted, like me and you, our jobs are not like
I wouldn't be like,
something.
sorry, I have to work. I can't make it. Like
Yeah, like
I would tell my work, yeah, sorry, give me whatever punishment you're gonna give me, I guess.
yeah.
I'm not gonna be there.
And even if it wasn't approved, like we have office jobs, like I just want to get paid for that day. But no, this mom was so pissed that this girl was going to go to her sister's wedding and not take care of these kids that she's like,
Excuse me.
if you don't show up this weekend, you don't have a job on Monday.
That's so rude. Oh my God.
Horrible. But I'm happy this girl stood her ground. She was like, I'm sorry to hear that. I really like these kids, but like, no, this is my sister and it's her
No.
wedding and I'm going.
Yeah.
And so in this article, it explains that. So this girl wrote this on Reddit, which I'm like, okay, I don't believe everything on the internet, but I was like, whatever, it's an article. We'll go with it. And so she further explained, she's like, I'm kind of torn up because she's like, I don't want to abandon these kids, but like, it is worth me to lose my job because like I will never get this experience ever again, most likely. So
Yeah.
yeah, just ridiculous. And then the part that really killed me was that the nanny's own mother was like, couldn't believe that she was going to lose her job over this. She's like, life's not fair. Like, you need to keep your job. Like, you need to be an adult and you just have to miss your sister's wedding. Her own mother, not the
No.
mother of the children. Mom would be pissed if we were like, sorry, Jordan, I
have to
miss your
babysit these
wedding.
other kids. Like, no.
Yeah, crazy. And the mom was like, the mother of the children, so the boss was like not nice about it. She like had some insults to say to this nanny, told her that she's abandoning her kids and trying to make her feel bad. And she's like, I'm sorry,
Oh.
like I love this job. It's not my life. Like,
Nope.
it
I'm
shouldn't
just
be.
sorry.
Yeah.
Fire me, I guess.
Yeah. And so I really liked how other Reddit users were like, okay, no, don't listen to your boss and don't listen to your own mom. Like, this is an important event. Also, if your boss, like, she's probably not going to be able to replace you in a week if she couldn't find you a replacement for the weekend. So
she
like,
wouldn't know. She's not gonna find your replacement Monday. So I'd be like, good
No.
luck. Goodbye.
yeah, bye.
Like,
And
no.
you probably don't want to work for those people anyway.
No.
If they're going to treat you like that.
Wow.
So
F
that was
that.
my
No.
weird news. I hope you would
Wow.
skip if it came down to it. I hope you would come to my wedding. I really
I don't
hope
know,
so.
Ash. My work is very important.
You're like,
I'll
honestly,
see
just
if I
don't
can
wanna
pencil
go.
you in. I'll see
Oh my
if I
God.
can pencil you in.
That, and not like that almost happened to me, but when you got married, because I was cheering at Mizzou at the time, you and mom like made a point to book it over like a Mizzou away game because we knew like I had to be at the home games. Like I could have gotten out of it, but it was just easier.
Yeah.
But that
What we
week, I
did.
yeah.
No, go
Wait,
ahead.
sorry, what were you saying?
No,
Oh,
go ahead.
that week, I don't know if it's that week or like a couple weeks before your wedding, I find out that I got scheduled to cheer a volleyball game like that Thursday or Friday. I think it was that Friday.
Yeah, and you
the
were
day
like,
of the
"Are you
rehearsal.
kidding me?"
Yeah. And they're
Yeah.
like, and I was like, hey, in the years past, we had picked the games, like the volleyball games that we were available to cheer at. And so they're like, oh, Ashton, like you're scheduled, you have to find a replacement. So I'm literally standing there at practice, pissed off. And I'm like, hey, can anyone switch me? Please, like, please switch me. And the coaches were like, well, Ashton, what do you have going on? And I'm like, my sister's wedding. I'm in the wedding. I'm not missing it. Like, if I can't find a replacement,
Punish me.
Sorry.
Like, I'll run a mile or whatever.
I don't
you want me to
care.
do. Like, come on.
luckily another girl felt bad and she was really cool. And she was like, I will switch you. Like, these assholes won't switch you. I got it. I'm like,
That's
thank
so
you.
dumb.
Thanks,
I would be
Alyssa.
annoyed too. I'd be like, seriously, like, Jesus Christ.
And that my coaches were just like, tough luck, we scheduled you. And I'm like,
And you were like, this is college
People.
cheerleading that isn't like a full ride scholarship. So sorry.
I paid to be here.
Yeah, like if anything,
ridiculous.
I paid to be here. This is insane. Wow.
So yeah, that was my
Yeah.
crazy news this week. What
Are
did
you ready for
pick?
mine?
I'm ready for yours.
I will say I spent a lot of time on these because I want to find a good hard hitter.
Yeah.
Which eventually I keep thinking I'm gonna run out of stuff, but I always find good ones. So this is good. This is good. So
Talking a big game.
this is in Canada. So I found this on the Huffington Post.
Mhm.
Which is where I got my one last week. So All right. So this says an airline worker forgot to close a latch after emptying the bathroom tank, like from the outside. So a Canadian woman has claimed a frozen lump of excrement from a plane passing overhead ripped through the roof of her mother's house. Stephanie Moore says that she was woken up by a crashing sound and saw a huge hole in the ceiling in the hallway, less than 15 feet from where she was sleeping. The roofer said the damage was probably caused by frozen excrement from a plane because a meteor would have left a rock behind, and that's not what was left behind.
Oh my God.
What are the chances of shit from a plane hitting your house? Like, imagine that. Like, what are the odds? Dead asleep, just boom.
That's horrible. What I'm thinking, I'm like, how big was it? Oh my God.
That's what I
It was just like the
know.
whole thing.
And it froze it like clearly because it was like in high altitude, and then it like boom.
That is
Is that
insane.
horrible? All just because I'm sure they could drill. There was no information on this, the guy that did the maintenance beforehand, but
Yeah.
they figured out that after it landed, there was like, they figured out what plane it probably could have been, and then there was a report that there was a latch that wasn't closed.
That is
Can you
insane.
imagine everybody was like shitting on that plane and it was just flying out into where God knows where.
Well,
And this just
also,
happened to hit someone's house.
who's pooping on a plane?
Clayton,
Because that's disgusting.
if Clayton's not wearing shoes on a plane, he's probably poops on the plane.
He's probably pooping. Oh my God.
It was probably
Ugh.
Clayton pooped in this lady's house.
Oh my God, it probably was. That is horrible. Oh my gosh. Well, I hope she gets some like help fixing that, or the airline's like,
Yeah.
sorry about that.
So, but
Oh my
yeah,
God.
so that was my news for the week.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah.
I cannot
So,
imagine.
I know. So yeah, I like these weird news things we're doing because I think it's kind of like relevant, and they're all like either job
Mhm.
related, company related, blah, blah, blah. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, all
That's
right. Well, we
crazy.
got our regular stories. It's Case of the Mondays. We got our regular stories. All right, Ash, what do you got?
Sweet. So my story this week, and it could have been like a news story, but I feel like it deserved a much bigger discussion. And I found this out, or I first heard of this when I was in Minneapolis. Like, I'm talking to one of our friends who is from Minneapolis. We stayed at our parents' house. We're out at dinner. We're talking about the pod and we're exchanging stories. And her dad brought this up, and I was just like dumbfounded. It was crazy. So let's say you are a hiring manager and you do an interview with someone, and this can either be like, no, let's say this is like an in-office job,
Okay.
but you're doing the interview virtually. So kind of like how we're
Okay.
talking right now. So this person goes through 3 interviews, nails it every single time. Like, this person's great. You offer the job. Monday morning comes and a totally different person shows up.
Oh,
and it's
like a
like,
new face, like a different.
I'm here. Like, not like I talk different, but like I'm a different person than the person you offer the job to.
Like they interviewed with you, but then I showed up and they were like, like,
Did you get a haircut? Yeah.
You kind of look the same, but that's not the person. That's like not the same.
Yeah. So this is a thing. People are like interview catfishes. People are hiring other people to do their job interviews for them, and then like
Wow.
get hired for these jobs that they like can't actually do because they didn't answer all the technical questions. Isn't that
Oh
crazy?
my God.
Yes.
So it's like a thing. I mean, I can see that being like some, internet scam where it's like you could pay someone to do your job interview for you. Like
uh-huh.
if it's a phone interview, it's a video interview. Like and also a
Yeah.
phone interview, they're gonna know your voice is different. Like,
Exactly. Yeah. So the couple articles I found, one is from technically.ly. Don't know what that means. And then like this HR kind of like news website. They had talked about in these it gave like, and not like this happens all the time, but they said that this usually happens for like tech companies, because like you have to have
Really?
very like technical skills, whether it's like certain
when
code
you
or
get in
certain
the job,
skills.
it's going to come out. I mean, I work in the IT world and I can,
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't work here anymore. So I guess I can say it. Like I had this guy I trained that like straight up couldn't copy and paste. And I like, I
Yeah.
mean, within a couple weeks of training, I had to like awkwardly like pull in like my supervisor and be like, hey, like I'm like, I'm not lying. Like normally I gave this guy like an honest shot, but like the fact that he can't copy and paste, I feel like it's a problem.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's true. And I work in a tech world, like we literally do software and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
so it's just like, I feel like that's a basic requirement, but people slip through the cracks like this. Like clearly this is a scam that's happening where people are like hiring people to interview for them.
Yeah.
And then so what happens? Like, are people getting
yeah, so-
caught and then they fire them? Like what happens?
Yeah, yeah. And one of the quotes in these articles was like, I don't understand why people, like what you said, I don't understand why people are doing this because you get the job, but then you can't perform. And obviously people are going to know. So usually I'm assuming and it said that usually these people will get cut like on the spot, especially once they realize like you don't have the skills. But it talks about like, oh, what can employers do? Of course, like fire them immediately once you know that they committed fraud. But like,
Yeah.
and employers could take these people like to court, but then it comes
Yeah.
into an issue of like, okay, did they actually do work? Are they entitled to a paycheck? And also like, that's kind of embarrassing to be like, I don't know how we let this person like just kind
Oh
of
yeah. Well, that
get
like,
this
and that's kind of
job.
what happened with this guy in my work. Like, cause it ended up being like whoever hired them and stuff. It was like, how, like he interviewed great. Like we just didn't think anything of it, and I think it's
Mhm.
because some of those technical skills we thought and this is kind of terrible. I'm sure it was like his age, cause he's like the same age
Mhm.
as me. We were kind of in school, like we had computers around us from the time we were in kindergarten. So like you'd think you'd have some sort of computer skills. I mean, Peyton, who works a
Mhm.
construction job, he doesn't work on a computer every day, can still navigate a computer in a
Yeah.
functional way. Like he's in some ways more technical than I am. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
like just for our age group, you would think somebody should be able to do that, but not necessarily. So,
Yeah. And
you
I'm
know.
just like, I'm so naive that I literally thought it was illegal to lie on your resume. My search history
People do
also,
it though. People do it though.
for this episode, my search history, like I'm gonna get put on a list because I'm Googling like,
How
is
to
it
lie
illegal?
on a job application.
Is it illegal? Hire someone for interview. And I'm like, not for me, like for someone else. Like I'm put on a
But
list.
Google, this question is for my friend.
Interview catfish. And oh my God. But yeah,
That
so
is so funny.
I
I mean,
literally,
I get it. I can see it happening. And I'm like, people are going to finagle their way into lying and getting what they want. But like,
yeah.
do you think some companies are like, F it, like we've gone this far, we might as well just try to train them, like, at some point. But how awkward is
Yeah.
that? You show up day one and you lied and people are
Yeah.
giving you weird looks and you're just like,
The
whatever.
nerve of some people. And I feel like when I was researching this, I feel like a lot of people our age have like imposter syndrome where it's like, yes, I am qualified, but for some reason in my head, I'm like, I don't know if I'm like good enough. Or like, I feel like, especially like,
Yeah.
I feel like women feel that way a lot where it's like,
Mhm.
oh, I really have to prove myself or like you don't feel good enough. But I'm just
Yeah.
like, the balls of these people
This
to
is
show up
insane.
and think it has to be a dude doing this. Like no woman would show up and be like, yeah, that's me. That's me.
Well, maybe it's because guys, I mean, they could be like, no, I got a haircut, or something.
And
I
they're
don't
like,
know.
you're not the same
Like, you're-
race, sir. Mm,
Like,
yeah.
absolutely not.
And because I could totally understand, like they talk about different ways people do this. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, my camera's not working or like a technical issue. Other times, full videos on, full everything. Like they're not hiding their identity at all, which is insane. Could you imagine what are the odds that this would happen to the same company twice? Like I log on for an interview and like, didn't we talk to you a week ago and your name's not what's on the paper?
Yeah, like
No.
you didn't get the job, so now you're like, you're
try
like, let me
again.
just try one more time.
Oh no, like I'm the person, like I'm the interviewee. And they're like, I'll pay you to do this interview. And I'm like, oh, I've already interviewed? Okay, cool. Perfect. Can you imagine?
It's so funny.
Oh my God. But yeah, so
It's terrible. I mean, I get I get it. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I've seen people do. I get it. So I'm not shocked people are doing this, I guess, when I say I get it. I'm not shocked by this, but the balls, man. Like, and it's,
Mhm.
maybe
Yeah.
virtual jobs, it's easier just because like you don't have to show your face as often. But like,
Mhm.
if you had to show up in person, think about that. Like, you're like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, I'm like, were you nervous? Or like I said, like I thought it was illegal to lie on a resume. And I remember I knew this person in high school. This girl told me she had mentioned like casually, like, oh yeah, like on my resume, like I've extended a job like 3 months. And I'm like, you are going to federal prison. And she was like, I already got the job. I'm like, citizen's arrest. Like you can't do that, dude.
Citizens arrest.
According
I
to
mean,
the
also
internet,
though,
it's not
a high school
illegal.
job. I mean, personally, looking back on it, I wish I would have just like faked, like, yeah, I was a server at this restaurant. Cause like you would have gotten a job easier. Like, because when you have no job experience
Uh-huh.
and you're like trying to get a job, like it sucks because like nobody was hiring you. So, but like if you were just like, yeah, I was a server, like it's not that hard to do that job. Like you could pick it up, you know?
I will arrest you right now. No,
Ashton, if you
no.
can't tell, if you're this deep and you've listened to 11 episodes and you haven't figured out that Ashton's a rule follower, and I wouldn't say I'm a rule breaker, I'm a rule bender. Like I'm like a how far could we just bend the rule a little bit, just to like slightly benefit ourselves, you know, in a way. So
The
it's
idea
right.
of it gives me anxiety.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
I'd rather lose. Not today.
No, Asha is the type that I will say growing up, like anytime I was like, oh my gosh, let's like try to do this or like let's whatever. She was like, oh my God, no, we can't do that. That's against the rules. Like
Yeah.
story of my life. So like
Yeah.
one time I remember we went out to eat and I, you know, was responsible for packing up like the leftover food or whatever. And instead of like putting the food on in the boxes, I just put the entire plate in the box and
Weirdo.
closed it. And I did that with each one. Like there was like 3 boxes and we brought it home. And you and Mom were like, who did you do this? What are we going to do with these plates?
They don't match.
Like,
they don't match
what?
the plates we have.
And I was like, what? Oh, that's my bad.
You
And it
forgot.
was just so funny because they were like, it's so heavy. And like they opened it and it was like a whole plate from a restaurant.
Oh my God.
I thought I was funny. They were not impressed at the time because I stole plates. Do you know how many bars I've stolen glasses from because I like the glass? Yeah.
You're crazy.
Like, yeah, like it'll have like a Chiefs logo on it and I'll just be like, slip it in my purse.
Oh my
It's fine.
God. No,
They get
I
those
don't
for
even
free from the beer company.
I don't even take a drumstick when it's given to me. Granted, it was stolen from me by my boyfriends, but
Ashton gives back the plastic cups at the bars, like that
Yeah,
are
I'm like,
for
sure.
events.
Yeah,
Just in case you
just-
guys need them.
in case you guys run out, just let me know. You guys need anything? Oh my God. That's like on my birthday when we were at the winery and I looked like I worked there. And I know I did
Look like she worked there.
because a guy that was another guest came up to me and he said, ma'am. And I was like, I don't work here. And I
And we're
walked
waiting
away.
for our drinks. And you're like,
But I was
"Oh,
ready to help.
I don't work here, but
So-
I'll help. Let me ask.
It's my birthday. Do you need anything? Yeah. So yeah,
So,
that was my
well, I'm
story this week.
interested. Since we're going to a concert together this week, and I'm sure we'll have lots of stories next week. So
Oh yes, very excited.
it's gonna be that exciting. So, all right, are you ready for my story? So
I'm ready.
I've been holding out on this. This is a job I worked. I've been holding out on this one. So
Mhm.
I won't go into like a ton of detail, but this was like my first job that was like, I would say pseudo professional. Like it was like, you know, you have that, a lot of people have that job that's in between like the restaurant job and the professional job, right? Like
Mhm.
sometimes it's an internship somewhere, like sometimes it's, you know, whatever. So I worked at this place that like they did like make some, it was like kind of like manufacturing, but then they also had like office stuff. So like
Mhm.
I kind of did some office work and I would like order, it was like shipping, receiving, like I'd order in the trucks for pickup and delivery. So it was like my first time getting to be like, I remember at the time being super excited. Like I got to work on a computer and get like paid for it. And it wasn't like
Ooh.
making food and stuff, which is like
Mhm.
ridiculous that I was just excited it wasn't retail or food and I could actually
Mhm.
like start doing something I could put on a resume for like a big girl job. So
Mhm.
but with this, like I will say, because I was kind of this intern type, like sometimes I was getting to do computer stuff, but then when I got slow, like they were like, hey, can you help them package these things? And I would like sit there and put like thousands of like little metal parts in bags and have to
Mhm.
count them. But I'm like, I'm in college, like I'll take $15 an hour to do this, like whatever.
Yeah.
So, but at this place, I remember starting and I knew it. I had a friend, her family owned the company. That's how I got started. And
Mhm.
I will say the people there, I liked how chill it was. And they gave me an opportunity to like, not just do like a minimum wage job. Like I will say that it definitely was like my stepping stone into getting like my first professional job. So I liked working there, but the people that you work with are very interesting for sure sometimes. So like, let me, I'll start with this one and then there's a story from before I started working there that is hilarious. So I'll tell this part first. So like I start there and I'm like, you know, I'm like still getting familiar with people, but one of my friends had got a job with me there. So it was kind of nice because like I wasn't, you know, by myself. Shout out Emily. Emily was there at this time. So we, you know, we started and they had announced like they were going to do drug tests or whatever, which is like normal for a job. And we were like, all right, whatever, you know. So by the time they went like department by department or whatever. And by the time they got to our department that we were in, they were like, hey, we're going to do drug tests or whatever. And this other guy that got hired with us, like he was just, I think like a warehouse worker, like he just like would load pallets and like, he was more of just like a manual labor kind of job. And he was like, literally, they were like, okay, guys, your department's time for drug tests. Like who wants to go first? And he literally is like, oh shit, I'm out. And we were like, wait, what? And he was like, I ain't even gonna waste your time. And he just clocked out and he left.
Like quit on the spot?
Like he was literally just like, I'm out, I ain't gonna pass. And like he just
oh my God.
And like I remember like the owner, he was just like, I mean, like I appreciate it. Like I remember he was so confused. Like, I mean, I at least appreciate your honesty. Like we didn't have to waste a test on you at least, you know.
Oh my God.
Just owned up to it. He was just straight up like, yeah, I ain't gonna waste your time. I'm out.
That is so funny.
And I was like, God. I mean, most jobs that are like warehousey jobs, I feel like you have to pass a drug test. Like you can't be under the influence working. It's just kind of dumb.
Yeah.
So my really funny story from this job. And like, it was one of those where like they would do a Christmas party and, and it would always be like, I'd say like middle of the week. And then, cause I was there for 2 Christmases, I think. So we did them like in the afternoons, like it'd be like, we'd get to leave at like, 2:00 and then like we'd, go to like Johnny's Tavern or something. And then they'd buy us food and we play games or whatever and stuff. And then they would actually give out bonuses. Like I'd say like,
that's awesome.
The regular workers got like $100. And then if you were a supervisor, you got $1,000. So I think people would get upset because they felt like that was a very big jump, right? Like that's like $100 and then $1,000. Like that's like a pretty big.
Yeah.
So every year I remember being there, people would always complain like, man, they should like give them a little less and give each of us like a little bit more just to even it out, whatever. And so like I get the frustration. I mean, I didn't care because I knew I wasn't going to be there forever. So
yeah.
But I guess one year, this is before I started there. So one year people were so pissed about like, they're pissed about this. Every year they would always think like, oh, we're going to get more or something. One year someone was so upset that the morning after the party, like they came back to, the facility or whatever in the middle of the shop space, like where like the manufacturing was done. Someone shit in the middle of the floor. I've heard a couple of stories. Like one was they didn't know who did it. They have no idea who did it or whatever. Another story I've heard is like, no, they caught it on camera. Like some guy like straight up just pulled his pants down, took a poop, and then and he worked that day and acted like nothing happened.
And whenever it's like, oh my God, it stinks. He's like, yeah, that's messed up.
Who did that? Wow.
Oh my God. That's horrible.
But I think they found out who did it. Like, granted, this happened before I started, but like, it still was like the story. Like, it was like someone was so mad. They literally went into their work and took a shit. Like, who does that? Like, I would never have the ball. Like, I don't care how mad I am. I would never be like, you know what I'm going to do tomorrow? I'm going to show them. Like,
and the confidence, like I would get stage fright. I don't know how you would.
I could never
do it. How wouldn't get on like your pants?
You gonna wipe? I mean, I like that's the mom in us, right? Like we're like, did you wipe? Like I'm concerned.
Yeah. Did you bring the toilet paper with you? And that, oh my God, that's insane. Or are you waddling
there
now to the bathroom?
And that, do they like, what's the conversation? Like, I'm imagining the supervisor going up to him and being like, so like, did you potty in the wrong place today?
Be like, we know it was you. Nah, it wasn't me, man.
Nah, it wasn't me. We have cameras.
We know it was you.
That wasn't me.
I think I would deny till the day I die because that's just so embarrassing.
You would have to quit. You would
and humiliating. Well, yeah, I would hope he would be fired. Or are you
No,
saying
he still worked
Yuduki-
there.
What?
Yeah, he still worked there afterwards. Like he continued.
Was
to
he
work
there when you worked there? And they're like, that's the pooper?
I think so. I think so. If I remember, like this again, this was a long time ago, but I think he still worked there. And they were like,
Oh
"God,
my
him?
God.
No, 1 year he pooped in the shop, and I was like, wait, what?
And
like
you
he
guys
took a
kept
shit.
him?
Well, we needed him to do what whatever. And I'm like, you couldn't find
No.
anyone else. You could no, it's hard to find help, man. Whatever. I'm like,
Yeah, so don't piss him off. Oh my
And
God,
I-
that's crazy.
and I was like, so like, did they give him a bigger bonus the next year? And they were like, no, it hasn't changed in like 10 years.
oh my God, that's
yeah.
horrible.
So yeah, no, that's yeah, I will never, and I drive by that place all the time. It's like, and I'm
Mhm.
like, every time I'm like, I wonder if that guy still works there.
I cannot believe that. That really
Yeah.
feels like a fireable offense.
No,
God, I don't know.
there's a lot more stories from there. I wish I could tell, but I'm not going to because I
Okay.
like the people that work there, so I'm not gonna like totally rat them
Yeah.
out. So
That's
yeah, no,
awesome.
that's the stories I have for this week. But yeah, no, I couldn't believe so many just honestly came out and just said, no, I'm not taking, I have to leave. I'm not going to pass that drug test. And then someone else took a shit on the floor. I never in my life would do that. So yeah.
That's again speechless. That is a lot to think about, a lot to
Yeah.
debrief. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you for your courage.
You always bring really good, like witty stories like that that are like witty, funny. And then I'm like a woman like gets shit
Someone took
blown
a
into her
dump.
house. And
Yeah,
then this
you
guy
had
dumped.
2 dump stories in
Stories.
one episode, Jordan.
Yeah.
You're on a roll.
You know what? though?
We might need to
talked about
ration your
this.
dump stories.
Me and my friends were like, they were like, like, do people think poop is funny? And I was like, I think more people think poop is funny than not funny. Like, there's
Yeah.
always those people that are like, oh my God, that's gross. And I'm like, okay, well, you're gross and have no sense of humor. So
If you're boring,
Get
just say
lost.
that.
if you're boring, just say it.
Oh my God. No, as long
Yeah.
as it's not around me, then I'm cool. So
I can't wait till you have kids and you get to deal with the shitty diapers.
pass.
Yeah,
Shitty
no,
pass.
Miller's his toots are like man toots now because he's getting bigger. He's bigger now.
Yeah.
So
Oh my
his
God.
toots are bigger, and he'll just be playing, and it's just like, and I'm like,
No shame.
I'm waiting. Oh, did Dad ever tell you this story about they took me to go see like the Nutcracker. This is
Beauty and the
funny.
Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, like it was like a theatrical whatever, and I'm like 3, like I'm very young, and it's like the quiet, like it's good, like the show's about to start, and I guess I tooted. I went.
No,
like,
I
really
thought
loud.
it was as Beauty
Oh,
and
that's
the
what
Beast
it is.
are about to kiss. Dead silence. Did you hear that fart noise?
Yes, that's what it was. It wasn't intermission. It was that. And I guess everyone, we were like second row. So everyone in the front row turns around. And my mom like looks at me and
Which
Dad.
is so shady of her. You look at someone else. You turn to the person next to you, not
the
your
other- look at
daughter.
Dad. I would look at Peyton. If that was us, I would be like, Peyton.
Dad be like, are you kidding me right now? No, it was you.
Yeah.
Oh
so
my
I
God.
tooted and all the people in front of us turned around and I was just like, what?
I
Imagine
wanna
being on
know
stage.
if they heard it and they're like, are you kidding me? Oh my God.
Yeah.
You
I
are
mean, can
foul.
imagine? It is. Every time we tell it, I'm like, now that I have a toddler, I'm like, this is hilarious.
You're like, I get it. Well, thank you guys for joining us for episode 11 of Case the Mondays. Be sure to find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Jordan has been posting some really good content there. So follow that, follow our YouTube. And yeah, thanks guys for joining
We'll
us.
see you
I'm
next
Ashton.
week. I'm Jordan.
You.
Bye-bye. I butcher it every time.
That's
Every time.
fine.
Without fail.
Peace. Bye-bye.